It's a Saturday morning, and we're 10 minutes away of the beginning of the Indiana-Michigan game. For the first time in recorded history, I will be rooting for Indiana, my law school, against Michigan, my undergraduate uh, alma mater. So that in and of itself is an historic event. So I can't spend a lot of time with you people as much as I would like to. Not really, but I'm saying that just to make you feel better. I'm going to just knock this thing off soon. Unlike other times when I promised to do that, this time I will because I have a reason for leaving. Not because you're tired of watching me, because I want to watch that damn game. Okay? I don't even have any booze. How am I going to get through this game? The pearls of being an Irishman. So, I'm going to talk to you about something different than what I promised and have been, and I'll get to that. And that's the postmortem, trying to analyze why the Democrats lost this election that they should have won. And the Democrats have themselves to blame, and particularly the left woke uh, diversity, equity, inclusion nonsense wing of the Democratic Party. The people who favor those things were the ones who spoke the loudest, and they gave the impression to the rest of the country that that's what the Democratic Party is all about. Most Democrats that I know are like I am. They have no use for that political correctness. They have no use for reverse discrimination. They have no use for, paying for transgender surgery for criminals or serving felony convictions in penitentiaries. These things are just ridiculous. Democrats don't support them. Republicans are vocal about not supporting them, and Democrats are not vocal about them. And we have this loudmouth wing of the Democratic Party that makes all this noise, and it just drives everybody crazy, myself included. So I got a lot more to say about those topics, but today is about what one of the things that irritates the hell out of me about the Republicans, and it's not the diversity, equity, inclusion, and all that stuff. I'm with them on that stuff. It's the real life, the real world of politics, the real world of government. And I was watching Bill Maher yesterday. I always watch Bill Maher, and he was saying a lot of the things I was saying. And one of the things he was talking about was this island of plastic, about which most of you are probably unfamiliar. It's like 3 times the size of France. And it's where all this, you think you're doing a great job for the environment with recycling. You're not. They just take all those things, they recycle 1%, and the 99% gets thrown in the ocean and ends up in these things that are killing the ocean. And Bill Maher did a whole thing on that. And I have a friend of mine whose kid was in private school, and they started explaining all this to these kids, which they should be knowing that about that. And the Republican Chamber of Commerce got furious about it, and they got all the Republican parents together, and they went out and basically demanded the school stop teaching this stuff. Why? The same reason they don't like to talk about the air pollution and the result of carbon emissions, all this stuff, because that cuts into profits of big corporations, and that's where the Republican Party always has been. And it's irritating to see people, all these union households, they go out and they vote for Donald Trump because they like his rhetoric, and they're ignoring the reality. And that thing with the plastic thing is a reality. And here's why it struck home to me. And I don't want to sound like I'm bragging on myself, although I don't mind doing that, but not this time. But I'm going to read you from my resume, and you give an understanding why I'm focusing on that plastic thing. It says right here, on May 30th, 2017, Ed succeeded in persuading the United States Supreme Court to reverse 2 longstanding decisions of the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. And I went on to say this victory capped Ed's 10-year crusade to overturn these 2 Federal Circuit decisions, which Ed, that's me, considered to be poison to remanufacturing industries worldwide, as well as terribly harmful to the environment. And then it goes on to say, as a direct result of this victory, and you should know some things about me if you're listening to me. It says Ed was awarded the prestigious, I don't know if it's prestigious or not, but I'm going to say it was, Media Global Legal Defense Award, presented to an individual who provides a legal breakthrough or defense that advocates the legitimacy of the aftermarket imaging supplies industry. This award was presented in Zhuhai, China by the Recycling Times Media Corporation, an international organization for the worldwide advancement of recycling and refurbishing, particularly in the printing industry. This was Ed's second time for receiving this award. He's the only lawyer to have received this award more than once. Now, that reward was dealing directly with this issue of this island of plastic that's floating around out there. Because when you recycle these particular products, and these have to do with print cartridges more than anything, then that's stuff that doesn't get thrown into the garbage. Most of the things you think you're recycling, and I have gone round and round with some of my liberal friends about this. Oh, you don't recycle. No, I don't. I don't recycle. You know why? Because here's what happens. You need to understand this. So because this is another thing where liberals go nuts. When you recycle, all these people think, oh, I'm saving the environment because the plastic that I'm throwing in my recycling bin, that gets sold to companies that take that and then they take all that and recycle it so they're not making new plastic products. That's what you think. That's not what happens. What happens is the private companies that get these, pick up the trash, they pick these up in these recycling bins, they sell them to companies who buy these. The companies that buy these used plastics take them and they segregate them out. They have whole assembly lines of people going through, and they pick out maybe one out of every 100 pieces of plastic that comes through goes into the bin for actual recycling. The rest gets thrown into garbage. And then all those recycled products, these quote recycled products that are not actually recycled, they get shipped over to countries in Asia. They're dumped in rivers. They go from the rivers into the ocean, and from the ocean, because of the Gulf Stream, they eventually end up in this island off the Pacific, which is, close to Asia, this huge island of plastics that have been thrown away. So when you put in 10 items, and when you put in 100 items in your recycling bin, one of those will end up being recycled. The rest are going to end up in that garbage pit in the ocean. I'm not talking about Puerto Rico this time, nor was I ever. But that's what happens with the recycled products. What happens if you don't put them in the recycle bin? What happens if you throw them with the rest of your garbage? You know what happens to that? That stuff gets put in a landfill. In a landfill, where it's covered up with dirt and stays there. Now, it never disintegrates, but who cares? It's just sitting there in a landfill. It's not in the ocean killing fish. And watch this Bill Maher program if you get a chance, and you can all find it. He goes in some of the details with the statistics of what's happening to our oceans that are dying on us. And when the oceans die, we're dead. So who cares how much profit the oil industries make, the plastic industries make? It doesn't matter how much profits they make if we're all dead. So pay attention to this. Stop recycling right now. Put your stuff in a garbage bin so it goes into a landfill where it doesn't destroy the ocean. Be aware of facts. This is why when I complain about the people who are not educated, I'm not talking about formal education. People don't know about facts. They don't know, for example, about the law of asylum, which is ridiculous. And the Republicans could have changed this a long time ago. They refused to do it, and that would have stopped these phony asylum claims coming in all the time by the millions. And I know because I do asylum law. I know about the plastics thing because I work for the recycling industry. I know about these things, and I'm educated in these particular aspects, and most people are not, and the media does nothing to educate people about what's actually going on, and that's one of the reasons people who should be voting for Democrats vote for Republicans. So that's I'm going to knock it off right now. Can you believe that? Because this game starts in 2 minutes. Go to your seats right now and root for Indiana. Yeah, if Michigan is doing better next year, maybe we'll root for them. But this year, this is Indiana's year. Go IU. Go Hoosiers. Go football. And go to bed. No, I'm kidding. Go back to your TVs and watch this game. And I'm going to turn this off right now. I've much enjoyed talking to you, believe it or not. I hope you've enjoyed listening. I know you didn't. I don't care. Bye.